What is good, everyone? It is the Crooked Commish with the Chicago Clubhouse Network, and we are back at it again. Took a little hiatus there for a while. Was not able to produce or do this show effectively here until we got some new equipment. So finally, it came and it's here. So we are finally back here to give you the pregame report here. And soon I'll be joined with my co-host, Coach Chef, and I believe Amp will be joining us as well to break down the Bears versus Ravens game this afternoon. And what a familiar place we find ourselves as Bears fans, huh? Last year at this time, we had pretty much the same record of 4-2. Only difference is we were going in to that Washington Commanders game. And that was the start of all the bad news. That's when we had the Hail Mary, where the Commanders were able to kind of pull that win out of their ass, or we choked that win away, you could also say. But this time we are going against the Ravens, who are desperate, and I mean desperate for a win. The Ravens are at the point of this season being 1-5. They really can't afford to go 1-6 to have a realistic chance of making the playoffs at all, or trying to win that division. I know they're about 3 games behind the Steelers for the lead in that division, but them finding themselves in this kind of hole, I think for sure they're going to be playing with a bit of desperation in this particular game. But not having someone like Lamar Jackson, their key QB, playing for, I believe this is the 3rd straight week that he's been out with his hamstring injury, will definitely help us and our defense stay on fire and stuff. But as you all know, we are dealing with some of the injuries to our key players as well. But before I get too much into it, or too further into it, I should say, let's go ahead and get to the intro and get my co-host in here as well. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Welcome back to the Clubhouse, everyone. It's good to have you back. It's good to be back. And it's good to see our Bears playing some winning football again. Like I said, last year we kind of had the same record. We kind of found ourselves in the same spot. But this year feels a little bit different. The offense doesn't seem to be as lost. It slowly does seem to be coming together. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. Caleb Williams is continuing to develop, although last week's game definitely was nothing to brag about. It was one of Caleb Williams' worst games as a Bears QB. But unfortunately, the Bears didn't really need to rely on Caleb Williams last week. Our run game has definitely stepped up since the bye week. With the Bears having an early bye, I know that was something that Ben Jonhson kind of implied, that they were happy that they had an early bye because they can kind of figure out what was working and what wasn't working and kind of adjust the playbook a bit. And since the bye, like I said, the Bears run offense has been a hell of a lot better. DeAndre Swift has had consecutive back-to-back 200-yard rushing games, which is, awesome. And hopefully he can continue that and make it 3 straight rushing games, or 3 straight games with over 100 yards. Ron, good to see you. Bear down. Thank you for joining the clubhouse. Let's see. Last season, the Bears were losing close games, and now the Bears are winning them. 1,000%. And a lot of that, I'm sure, at least in my opinion, has to do with coaching and whatnot, and staying focused and not letting doubt kind of creep in and whatnot. So I think the Bears players as well maybe respects or trust this coaching staff a hell of a lot better than the last coaching staff. But even breaking it down to our running backs coach, our wide receivers coach, our defensive backs coach, all those guys are key names and names that were recognized throughout the football landscape there. So, like I said, the key, one of the key things has definitely been Ben Jonhson's coaching and him developing Caleb Williams. Hopefully he could continue to take a next step in this particular game versus the Ravens, which they'll need to, because like I said, the Ravens will be coming at them with everything they got. The Ravens definitely were expecting the record to be flipped around at this point of the season, be 5-1 and not 1-5. Granted, like I said, a lot of the issues or the reasons for those the record being as bad is just some of the injuries that they have, kind of sustained throughout the season. Want to give a shout out real quick to the Gen Wealth Network. Bogey, thank you guys for checking us out. Bogey and Gen Wealth was the one responsible for my Crooked Commish fantasy intro song. So if you guys like that, if you guys check that out and want a beat of your own to kind of put together, let me know, and I can definitely hook you up with Bogey so we can hook you up with a good intro song if you guys are doing anything like that. He also says Caleb Williams is mighty inaccurate, but the scheme made up for it, I guess. Yeah, he was. And that's the thing that's been one of the disappointing things from Caleb is his inaccuracy when he moves outside of the pocket and kind of when he's scrambling. Last year, that wasn't something that was an issue of his. And even in college, that was one of the better things that Caleb Williams did, was running while scrambling around, But this particular season, he is definitely struggling with that. I would also say another issue with Caleb's is he does seem to hone in on Roma Dunze a little too much, in my opinion. One of the reasons for that interception that he had last week was that he was just clearly staring down the receiver and did not look anyone off. That's usually something that he doesn't have an issue with. He's pretty good at kind of scanning the field, but I think for the most part, he does hold on to the ball still too long. There is some occasions where you see him kind of scrambling in the back, and it's just like we're yelling at this TV screen to just run with the ball and get, the 3-4 yards that are ahead of you and stuff, instead of kind of scrambling around in the backfield and then eventually, at the last second throwing it away or forcing it into coverage. Because even though Caleb Williams' interception numbers are not high right now, he's very fortunate because of that, because there's a lot of times where these balls are just barely not getting intercepted. They're going through the defender's hands and stuff. So he does need to kind of get a bit better to not trying to play hero ball so much, and taking some of the check downs and some of the easy passes and let your playmakers, make the play. Kind of like what he did with DeAndre Swift, a nice little 5-and-out. Swift caught it and ended up taking it the other 50 yards and stuff. So let me go ahead and get one of my co-hosts in here before I continue to just ramble on about what I like and don't like about the Bears so far this season. He is a man who can cook up something real fast That's why he's mighty, mighty handy in the kitchen. And that's why we call him Coach Chef, because not only is he cooking up good food, he's cooking up some good takes as well. Coach Chef, top of the morning to you. How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, man? How's everybody going this morning? What's up? I'm all right. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm on cloud nine. I have my 2 boys in town. My oldest son lives in Washington State, so he came in last night, and he's going to be visiting here for about the next week or so. So,
man, that's dope, man. That's cool. It's always good to have the kiddies, regardless of age, in town. It's always good to have them local. That's what's up.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. Go ahead.
No, just want to say what's up to everybody. Obviously, when I come on, even though we've been on already, definitely want to say the Bears are about to
back Baltimore.
Oh.
Thanks for that, Bogey.
Gross.
Yeah.
Well, they should. They should. I know. I was catching what you were saying. I had some things I had to finish up. The Caleb inconsistency, or him not having a great game, or him not playing well. I want to remind people. Just, I always say this. I always say football is football. It's a 17-game season. I can't remember, unless you're an MVP, you're not going to have a great game every game. Like, I remember someone saying something, I don't know if it was in a podcast or a YouTube video I was watching about the Bears, and someone was like, I don't like winning games because of the defense and the running game. I like winning because Caleb plays great. Nobody plays great every game. Like, there are Hall of Famers that didn't play great all 16 games. You all understand that, right? Like, right. Steve Young, John Elway, Brett, like, there are Hall of Fame people at every position who didn't have a Hall of Fame game their entire career. There were games that John Elway threw more interceptions than touchdowns. There were games where he didn't throw for 250 yards. So you would like Caleb to play better, obviously, versus lesser competition. But we won the game. And right now, you're stacking wins to build confidence and to gather an identity. So let's hold on to Caleb has to play like the number 1 overall pick every game. I mean, Josh Allen had a bad game.
Yes, right. Baker Mayfield had bad games being the number 1 pick, and then that's getting him out of.
Had a bad season, through 20 interceptions. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a Baker Mayfield truther, but I always believed in Baker because of his arm strength and his accuracy. He just needed a coach and an organization. He played for the Browns. We keep forgetting he played for the Browns. Like, people play for the Browns don't typically
and the Panthers.
Play good. Yeah. I mean, they're not only the organization's fault. I'm just saying the perspective of he didn't play well. But when you do when you have a game like you did with the Saints, and they were running the ball amazingly, both backs were averaging 6 yards a carry. I mean, you could go up like, hey, let's throw in some more pass to do that. Or you could say, hey, they can't stop us running the ball. So let's keep doing that too.
Right. Right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't try and be too cute for the situation. And that's what I like about this coaching staff is you are seeing some of these adjustments going on compared to the last coaching staff where they would see that their run game's not effective or what their original game plan isn't necessarily working. And they come out at halftime and really don't do anything to address it. And the same thing on defense, where they see they'll be getting shredded either through the air or through the run, and then they continue to get shredded throughout the whole game. They kind of fix up their little quirks of what's not working, but it didn't seem to really kind of happen too often on the other side and stuff until this year. So this year's definitely been a lot better to where, even at the end too, late game adjustments as well after halftime has been noticeable as well. So it's definitely encouraging to see that this coaching staff is thinking on the fly, thinking on their feet, and not just kind of accepting the results of the game and kind of just hoping for a different result there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not and just to combine with that, the Caleb thing, obviously because Caleb is the number 1 pick and he's a quarterback, I'm not absolving Caleb from mistakes and bad play or inaccuracy or any of those things. But just
For sure.
he's still a second-year quarterback. Like Jaden Daniels was a pick that people have been quote unquote raving about. I know we missed 2 weeks worth of shows because of technical difficulties, but let's talk about all these things about who's better. We should have had Daniels. Like situations matter, playing matters. Jaden Daniels, regardless of injury, isn't playing amazing when he's on the field. He's playing okay. Like if Jaden Daniels' rookie year was this year and not last year, you'd be saying, "Oh, Caleb and Jalen look all right," but he had such an unrealistic rookie year that the goalpost was moved. It's just I always say I'm not obviously
Yeah.
you don't want to tell people how to think. Just when you're watching the game, you can't live and die on every single play. Like
that's hard for me not to do, though. That's hard for me not to do.
I get it. I get it. If you watch any football game, any sports event, every series isn't going to be great. You watch basketball, every time you come down with the 24-second shot clock, it's not going to be a made shot. Sometimes it's going to end in a turnover. I know basketball, there's more chances, but this is my point of baseball. Every inning, you're not going to get a 3 and out when for your sake, you're a Cub fan. But as a Sox fan, yeah,
definitely in game 3 and out.
Teammates in the playoffs. It'd be great if every time you came up on a defense and your pitcher was up, you got a 3 and out, you got 2 strikeouts and a ground ball to the first baseman to make it easy in less than 10 pitches, or when you were up to bat, you got on. But sometimes you're on offense and you go 0 for 3 and you have 9 innings. Or sometimes you're going to have a bad quarter. You're going to have 2-3 drives that just don't hit because the other team is playing hard too. The Browns beat the Packers.
Right.
Like,
they're getting a paycheck too.
Football, man. That's why there's only been 2 undefeated teams in the regular season in modern football history. In fact, in football history, period, it's only been 2. So
and then one of those teams lost in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
They were talking about Josh Allen might be MVP again. He had a bad game versus the Patriots, and then they were talking about what's wrong with Josh Allen. Like, what do you mean what's wrong with him? You're not going to play great every game.
Right.
Oh,
he's human. He's human.
Yeah. About these injuries, though.
Yes.
Man.
Yes. Let's
get into it.
Let's get into it.
Bears and the Ravens look like what's it called? Look like oh man, I can't.
Looks like the Red Health or thing or the Red Cross.
The Red Cross. Yeah, I was looking for an old person reference. Something that you can relate to. Like the Red Cross. What is this? War?
Yeah, I like this comment here from Ron. He said, for a second there, I thought it was Edmonds coming on the show. Tremaine?
Oh Lord. You know what? I do got a big ass nose. I do got a big bell pepper. Big forehead. Me and Tremaine do match the big forehead, big bell pepper, and the lock.
I mean, that's better than some of the other player comps that you've gotten in the past, like Cedric or Peanut Tillman and shit like that. So, I mean, Edmonds, I guess that's a bit better.
The best ones I've ever heard were Edmonds and Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald made kind of sense. We're literally a similar height, weight, kind of build, hair. I do wear number 11 when I play football. So I guess in a dark bar was like, oh my God, you like Larry Fitzgerald. But the Peanut Tillman, I ain't gonna lie. Look, I love all my brothers and sisters of all the ethnic backgrounds, but man, you white guys and y'all drunk, y'all just pick any black guy with dreads and y'all just compare him to another black guy. Like, you look like Peanut Tillman. Me and T and Tillman have 0 features similar except for dreads and being black. That is it. We don't look at all similar. No,
and your
foreheads are different. Yeah, Bears. That's it. But they just the association.
Well, let's get into these entries, man.
Yeah, nice, I mean, obviously, Lamar is out. What was that comment again?
It was just saying bear down. Let's
fucking go. Yes, of course, bear down.
D-Nice was on with me on my fantasy show. He's on another Bears network. So thank you for coming and checking us out, D-Nice.
Hey,
he was also saying, let's see, and Tillman's dreads have been gone for years.
You're right. They have. It doesn't stop that when I lived in Illinois and I was at a bar, that motherfuckers was calling saying that I look like Peter Tillman. But yeah, so obviously Lamar's out. That's the big one that's been all over the news.
Yes.
I didn't make a TikTok about it yesterday because I messed around and fell asleep watching. What was I watching with my oldest son last night? We was watching. I was about to say Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. We were not watching that. That is another dated show. We were watching Karate Kid Legends, and we both fell asleep on the couch. So I didn't make a TikTok yesterday. Plus, I had to make a I was supposed to make a TikTok about my Illinois Fighting Illini coming out and getting them not embarrassed, but having a very poor showing versus the Washington Huskies. After I literally made a TikTok about the Illini finishing the season 5-0 and going 10-2 on the season. So that didn't age well. But
anywho,
that didn't age well. Yeah.
But so do you think the Bears' run defense is going to be able to keep King Henry in check with Lamar Jackson being out? I imagine that the Ravens are going to lean heavy, definitely on the run.
Yes and no. I think this. Okay, here's a hot take. I don't usually do hot takes. I don't think. No, I know. I know for a fact, watching an abundance of Derrick Henry tape since he was in college till now, that Derrick Henry is not as feared as a running back for his size and weight as people think. I think that he's not a power back. He is not a power back. One, that's the first I take. And two, he doesn't run with great power. That's together. I mean, yeah, they're about the same size. So I say this by saying, like, if you watch Derrick is 6'3", 240, 245. But look at his build. He's very top heavy, and he has a lot of speed. And he reminded me, I remember telling the story, quick story, I'm sorry, about Ron Dane. Those who remember Ron Dane from Wisconsin, who was like 5'11", 245 pounds or whatever. And
I believe he was the Thunder to Thunder and Lightning. Tiki Barber was the Lightning.
Tiki Barber. But they weren't very successful because people just think, people also do this thing, coaches do the same thing. They take height and weight for granted. You're a big guy, so you must do big guy things. You run hard. You're a smasher. If you're a linebacker, for instance, people thought Brian Urlacher was a downhill linebacker, and he wasn't a downhill linebacker. He was a athletic, very athletic, freaky linebacker who is a linebacker. I mean, you don't have to be 140 pounds to be an athletic linebacker. You could be 250 and 6'4", but you can move with speed and agility. Because, he didn't take on blocks. The crack on Brian Urlacher was he doesn't take on blocks. He's always going underneath. Well, if you're athletic enough to beat the blocker in different ways, to get to the point and get to the linebacker, get to the running back or make the play, then that's what you are. That's why him and another Hall of Famer, Ray Lewis, are different types of linebackers. And Ray Lewis is actually a very undersized linebacker if you do your research. But Derrick Henry is a running back that he has great feet, and that's what him and Ron Dane have in common. So once they get in open space, yes, you don't want to go against those two guys when you're a 5'11", 190 pound DB. But if you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker, if you can meet them in a hole when their feet are not moving, they typically don't move pals forward, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you can get Derrick when Derrick's feet are lateral or when his feet are not moving, the Ravens had like a 4th and 2 like 2 weeks ago. And you could blame the O-line, but it was like he was waiting on something. Like he was doing that old Le'Veon Bell, I'm gonna stop in the hole. Like he just didn't say,
he was shuffling his feet side to side instead of forward. Yeah.
Step forward. So if the Bears can stretch runs out that they do, the Ravens, especially without even though they'll have Hundley, who the Bears have lost to 2-3 years ago, but he's not playing well. He wasn't playing that well now anyway. That's why he was on their practice squad. If you could keep Derrick Henry's feet from moving downhill and him finding those gaps in the stretch run, he's really good in the stretch and the power and the pin and pull plays. He's not I'm sorry, he's not that much dissimilar to DeAndre Swift if you really think about it. You watch how they run the ball. It's not like Derrick Henry's running 31 powers right in the middle between the guard and the tackle. No, he's running stretch plays a lot of the time, or he's running pulling plays where the guard is pulling or someone's pulling in space, and he's getting that space. That's why a lot of times his biggest runs are when he's not getting touched. And of course, if you're 6'3", 240 pounds, when you get downhill to the second level, his wingspan being 6'3", his wingspan is probably 6'5", that he can just put his hand in a DB's face mask and mush him to the ground. So the Bears could keep him in check as far as not letting him get his feet moving downhill in those gaps. You can be successful. I mean, you can be successful versus any running back, but his claim to fame is not ground and pound. His claim to fame is space. He hits the hole extremely fast downhill. That's what you want to prevent. The Bears defense has been playing a lot better with that, but Booker's out, Rashawn's out, Komet. Oh, holy hell! I knew Komet was going to be out. They would. This would be his first.
Our secondary is definitely going to be hurting this year. I mean, not having already being down Johnson, and then now we're down Tariq Stevenson, and Kyler Gordon is back on the IR there. So, do you think they brought back Kyler maybe too early for him to?
That's why I don't see him. They put him back on the 4-week IR or the season-ending IR.
I think it's the 4-week IR. Because I don't believe I'm not sure if he was on IR to start the season. I thought he was just out. He was out. Right, he wasn't technically on IR yet. So I think him being on IR is
he was guaranteed to miss the first 4 games, but he's only played the first week.
I think he's played
his first one was Washington.
I think he's only played the 1 game really.
2.
Because he was out. He played the preseason game, and then he was out the rest of the preseason games. He didn't, and to be available and ready for week 1. That was what we were being told. And then week 1 came along, and he's like, he's not quite ready. So and
they gave him the bye week too. So yeah. So I mean, man, it's
So yeah. So I mean, they have was it Wright? Wright is now the number 1 today, and Josh Blackwell. So I mean,
I don't that. I don't know about everyone else who. Yes, I know Nashawn Wright has had 2 interceptions. He had 1 for a pick 6. He had 1 last week, which was pretty big. But I'm sorry, my man is my. Okay, I don't want to say cheap. I have a pet peeve about calling NFL
He's
players.
Limited. Limited.
He's extremely limited. So he is a poor man's Tariq Stevenson, essentially. He's a big corner which is insane. Like that's why he's
Kool-Aid.
He is. I mean, that's why he's been a journeyman and struggled to catch on the team's long period. I know he played well, but he got beat out by Stevenson. He doesn't have long speed. He's not physical. Good point. He's not physical. He's not going to come down and thump in the running game like Tyreek would or JJ would. And quicker receivers are going to give him issues. Or receivers who have any quickness, even if you're a bigger receiver. He's got to get hands on you. He's got to keep you tight. You can say that for a lot of DBs, but that's really true. He accelerates. Think about it. His 2 interceptions are on bad balls. That's not a discredit to him. You got to make the plays that are there. But he's not making plays to overcome his lack of athleticism, besides the fact that both interceptions were bad balls. The ball J.J. McCarthy threw was a late ball on the out route, and the ball that he just got last week was an in route that was behind the receiver. So I forgot. Yeah, so Kyler hasn't. Yeah, he can't. He missed the 4 weeks plus the bye, obviously, to get healthier. But yeah, so Booker's still out, which I find crazy because I think he has until the end of this week technically.
Yes.
The end of since Sundays starts your work week. He has until the 28th to declare. Although he's been full participation every week. I guess they're trying to figure out the whole roster moves, but
crazy.
With all the injuries, you would think they would activate him a little sooner. Roquan, I mean, unfortunate for him, but he seems to be, he is what he is at this point to prove otherwise. I don't know who's happy about this, but I'm not happy Cole's out. You need 2 tight ends. All the trade Cole news or Cole Loveland's going to be the number one tight end. Cole still blocks. Cole still is the number one tight end based on targets and yardage and catches. And Cole's never missed a game. People don't know that. Cole has not missed a game his entire NFL career. So this will be his first missed game. Who else? Stevenson, obviously. DeAndre Swift has been on the doggone.
I believe Braxton Jones went on the IR as well, along with Kyler Gordon. So, but Kareem Amagaji is supposed to be coming off the IR himself because he's at the same kind of point with Booker, where he can only be on there for so long, I believe, as well.
Yeah, because if you don't come off, so if Booker doesn't come off, I think by the 28th, you have to keep him on the season-ending IR, which means you can't bring them back at all. So you still are lacking depth. I feel like the knee wasn't the injury when he went on the IR. I feel like it was something else, and now it's the knee. But I could be wrong. But he was full participation this whole week. Grady Jarrett's going to play today. DJ, Joe Tooney, Nashawn Wright. So looking at the depth chart. So injuries happen. You are the can you say with the health of your team? I mean, I guess. Lamar matters a lot for a team that's 1-5 that, when you got Cooper Rush. Thank you for the 45-10. Yeah.
Woo. Man, that means, our offense had a nice field day on those boys if they whip them like that. But yeah, I would love to see that, but man, I don't know if it's going to be that big of a blowout. A 35-point win would be something else.
Roquan's going to play today. Stanley for them. All their receivers are healthy. Obviously, they don't have the running back to support that. Marlon Humphreys, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, them having all their weapons doesn't matter because they don't really have a competent quarterback, a bona fide starter who's going to get them the ball. But you can't take that for granted. But with our lack of DBs healthy,
yes.
So you've essentially got second. You don't even have. You have one second team starting corner, and then you literally have a bunch of third team starters. You don't have.
Yeah.
I'm going to check the depth chart, but none of these guys, when I name them, do you think of as a second team player, guys who get 30, 40 snaps, 25 snaps a game? No. When people are healthy, they see the field maybe 10, 15 times at that. Also, I don't know if anyone else, but I just want to apologize for my lighting. I've had issues with my ring light. Tyreek's not playing. So you have Jalen Jones, Nashawn Wright, Josh Blackman. You have Nick McLeod. Like those, geez, did they? Yeah. And they didn't sign anybody. They didn't bring anybody up. Any transactions?
Yeah, you usually at that point you sign some practice squad guys or something along the line. But I guess they're figuring that what's going to help those DBs though is the pressure that needs to get to them on the line. Montez Sweat needs to continue to have a good game. The one disappointing thing that with Sweat is as much as we're paying him, I would want that guy to be on the field, get like 90 to like 95% of the snaps. He only gets about 70% of the snaps.
That's most defensive ends. The only defensive ends who are clocked. Just a point. You want more production, like everyone else.
Yeah.
The snap count for defensive ends. The only defensive ends who out there 90% is my man out there in Oakland,
Myles Garrett.
No. Myles Garrett doesn't play 90% snaps. Oakland. He just played them.
Oakland doesn't have a team. The Raiders, you mean, in Vegas?
Crosby. Vegas. I'm sorry. You're right. Vegas. Crosby. Crosby's like the only DN who's out there clocking 85% of the snaps.
But you're right, more effective. You definitely want more bang for your buck. He came around last game there where he finally got a strip sack, and then I believe he made a big run stop on one of the plays towards the end of the game as well. So he, even though like he's not out there as often as I may want him to, when he does get out there, he does need to make his presence felt more often. Because a lot of the time, and that's what's really going to help the Bears in this particular game, is the front four getting some pressure on I believe it's Cooper Rush, that's the quarterback, or is it Tyler Huntley? That's the quarterback.
It'll be Tyler Huntley. So I'm also looking at the Bears. The
front line does need to get the pressure on its own. I know they're starting to blitz a bit more, but that'll definitely help the defensive backs and putting them in more favorable positions there to make a play at all if they can kind of get there instead of, even though it's Hundley, it's not Lamar Jackson exactly. He's still a serviceable and decent QB.
He can still run. The Bears are going to have issues with – the Bears don't have elite speed on defense because they're lacking the DBs. So when Jaden Daniels decided to run, they weren't really stopping him. He did have 55 yards. Some people say, oh, that wasn't a bad game. That's pretty much kind of his average, about 55 to 65 yards a game. So he still was able to do that on a gimpy leg. The not injury reserve, the practice squad DBs that they have are Dante Manning out of Oregon. He's a rookie. And Jervicius Owens, a 6-foot corner out of Houston. Those are the only. Oh, and they have Davis Flowers from Pittsburgh State out of Kansas. He's got 4 years of experience. So those are your 3 DBs in practice squad. Huh?
Speaking of Owens, do you think we would see Jonathan Owens? We should see him more. I mean, is he not?
You see him more playing nickel.
Kyler Gordon's not going to be there, and Kyler Gordon's usually our nickel guy.
You have Nick McLeod. I mean, if they go to a dime package or different personnel, you're going to see more safeties, more safety assistants as far as being a nickel. None of them are going to line up wide. I mean, your wide corners are going to be Jalen Jones, Blackwell, and Noshawn Wright. Those are your outside corners. We don't have the versatility in our safeties to put them on the outside unless it's a matchup with a running back or tight end of something if they're going man. But yeah, you only have three corners. Is that three healthy corners based on the depth chart alone? So 3 healthy corners: McLeod, Noshawn Wright, 4, Jalen Jones, and then Josh Blackwell. So that's 4 corners. Those are your 4 corners. Now my computer.
And hopefully nothing happens to them in this game at any point and stuff.
So it's a game. The word I was looking for, game of attrition. That's the word I was looking for. We talking about all these injuries. Psych ward and all that crazy stuff. So it's the NFL. You gotta, quote unquote, next man up. But you gotta, as the next man up, and I've been that guy at various levels of football. You just got to do your job. Don't try to do something outside of your ability. Don't try to do something outside what the coaches and what you're taught to do.
So Matt Nagy, be you, really. That's the only one thing I did like about that is be you. But he didn't listen to his own advice.
Yes, you got to be you. Most definitely. Yeah. Matt Nagy quote. Good God. The injuries are thing. I mean, it swung so much that it swung the money line. It swung the money line and everything about the gambling aspect of it has gone. The Bears are now plus 2.5 and a plus 130. No, I'm sorry, they're still underdogs. My bad.
Yeah, they're still underdogs. They're just not as big of underdogs.
Yeah, I still always forget that plus means you're supposed to lose.
Right. And they're at home too. How odd is that to be at home? No, I thought the Bears were at home.
No, we're at the Ravens. Remember, they opened up as 6 point underdog.
6-point dogs. Yeah, and now it's dropped down to like 3-point underdogs.
2.5, depending on what you use. So look, obviously the whole adage: you got to play football. You got to play the game as it is. You got to stay within yourself. What the hell? I really got to get.
Do you think anything is going to come of that investigation? How the Ravens are being looked at with Lamar Jackson injury report, not on the injury report. They're being investigated. Like, is that anything of significance? You think? Ravens going to hit with the fine. Did you hear about that?
Was he not literally on their weekly report? Because they were just because a reporter asked questions. If you're listed on the report or not as your full participation, I don't think the head coach has to answer. So is Lamar going to play? Or, that's the plan, or whatever the quote was, which I I didn't take any significance with. I know people were like, "Oh, he's dodging. He's giving us coach speak." I'm like, does he have to say yes or no?
Right.
Like,
there's always players that are game time decisions, literally.
Yeah, but if you're on the report Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in your participation, which he
and I
was,
think that's the biggest thing that they're kind of harping on.
It literally says Lamar Jackson hamstring Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, limited, and full participation. So he was limited Wednesday, Thursday, and he was full participation Friday. So what more does the media want, and the bettors out there to want? And for people, I'm sorry. The whole injury.
I think the issue is what they're harping about is him participating in practice all week, only to still not suit up for this game. It's kind of like they're throwing their hands up, like, what the hell? How is he not available if he was limited and they had a full participation of practice? And you're telling me he's still not available? So
on Friday,
it's a nitpicking thing, but
yeah. So okay, let me break this down for those who perhaps didn't play football. So this is not high school. So even in college, but with the new CBA it's not even new anymore, but the CBA with players don't practice. Like the days in the NFL where players in practice doing a practice week are like hitting in full pads, those don't exist anymore, guys. Players only practice in shells, tops and shells. They're only practicing in helmets and shoulder pads, and they probably just have on compression shorts and sweatpants or shorts. They're doing what we call light thud Wednesday and Thursday. They're wrapping up, but they're not going hard helmet to helmet, shoulder pad to shoulder pad practice like the 1970s. They don't do that anymore. So, but you still have to go full speed. So when you're running out your plays as an offensive quarterback, you got to run out your boots, and you're still moving, going against your scout team and your practice, your 2-hour window of practice. You're still going full speed. Now, limited participation means that he's probably going, 50, 60% of his actual speed, or he spends part of practice with the training group while the first team offense may run the full offensive load with what a quarterback is 100% healthy. They run that at full speed versus the ones at first and then walk through. But during walkthrough, when they're just going through their plays or their scheme for the week, he's going to be obviously on the field for that. And on a Friday practice, since they play on Sunday, they're not practicing with any helmets. It's only jerseys. Like, you put a shirt on and you put your it's not flannel. I can't even think of words now. You put you put your practice jersey on and you go outside for like walk around. That's all that Friday practice is in the NFL. That's all Friday practice is in high school. When I played high school and the Friday practice for college, or the Thursday, Friday, because you play Saturday. So unless you have to travel, your Friday practice in college, you're not playing in helmets and pads the day or 2 days before the game. You're out there and you're just walking through, hey, a first team offense. You're going through the schematics of who's supposed to be. Yeah, it's a walkthrough. So you can be full participation and then not play the game. Like, that's 100% possible. Shoot. I'm in damn, I got it right one time. By me, he was full participation in every practice this week, and he has a knee thing, and he's not playing. I know he's not Lamar Jackson. Just saying that you could be full participation and then not playing the game, because practices are not what they used to be in the NFL. I mean, college it's obviously a little different at the Division I level now, but you still like flooding up and tackling and full pads. You're not doing that in the NFL. So yeah, you can participate. Shit, Booker for us didn't participate the whole week. He participated in full practices and is out. Y'all gonna lose. Okay.
Yeah, this is our local cheesehead fan, my guy that I know here. So Brian, thank you for checking us out. Bear down.
Thank you for checking us out. Bear down is some
He likes
bullshit.
to come in and troll us for a minute.
Okay, I appreciate the troll. I appreciate it. I wish he was trolling the Browns when they beat y'all ass. But it's okay. It's all right. You lost to a team with 1 win, 2 wins. Good job. Football. You right. Yep. You played down. You lost to Joe Flacco. Good on you.
So it does seem like it's a lot, something made out of nothing. Really. I think a lot of a big magnifying glass is getting put on everything because of the recent news of what happened with Chauncey Billups and the NBA betting scandal. That so everything now is maybe getting kind of looked at with the more hard eye than it normally would if it wasn't. But getting back to this game real quick, your opinion, and let us know in the chat too. Which player do you think is going to have more yards at the end of this game, Luther Burden or Loveland?
Please don't say it. Oh, okay. I thought she was going to lose Luther Burden versus DJ talk.
No. Burden, the two rookies.
Well, if the trend continues, I mean, Burden has more total yards than Loveland. I would say Loveland. They have all their DBs. So, but hey, when the ball to go to Luther, if it's in his vicinity, he do catch it. He do make somebody miss. Oh my goodness, I got to get a faster computer. So I'm trying to look up their stats because I'm going window to window, which is not a good idea when your computer's slow. I know
Luther definitely has a big play potential. When he does get his touchdowns, it's definitely from the longer passes so far and whatnot. And Loveland is really, he's made some catches here and there, but really not has been featured as much as you would hope or think that a top 10 pick would be, coming into an offense. So without Kmet, though, this is definitely the game for Loveland to kind of make some sort of a statement game. Even if it's just like a 4 or 5 catch game for, 60 yards, that's something.
Yeah, it'd be nice to give him 2 or 3 more targets. I mean, as the game plan, you got to know. Remember, our tight ends have been staying in the block a lot this season. Both of them have been blocking. I've actually been pretty happy with Loveland and his blocking. And I know, people will say, well, you drafted a top 10 tight end to catch the ball. Look, every team is different. I don't want to hear this shit about the kid in Indy, how he's balling. Look, they're scheming offense for him. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones is still their quarterback, and yes, Daniel Jones and the Colts are 5-1, I believe, or whatever. But it's not like they have bona fide number 1 receivers. They do have a solid number 1, but they're one of the most run dominant teams. So they play a lot of play action. They do move him around a lot, get him in space. But he doesn't stay in the block as much as Loveland does. So
Tyler Warren, you're thinking about?
Yes, Tyler Warren. It's all about how you're being used. So,
right. That's the thing that's a little.
So Loveland has 13 targets. So they're right below each other. So Burn has 14 targets, 12 catches. Loveland has 13 targets, 8 catches. I mean, shoot, people talk about Big Stiffy Crooked Commish. Loveland, based on his yards per catch, looks like Big Stiffy, but that's just a joke for edge. But yeah, he's still an athletic tight end. If you working that play action off a boot, if the running game is being successful, obviously getting him on a drag or getting him on a crosser or a chip with an out, where you block down in the stretch run for your tight end and he leaks out for 5. As long as you can get him in the space, it'll always be good. Just kind of consistently building that confidence for him. I think I really want to see. I'm surprised you hear me say this. I want to get Rome back. I want to get Rome Odunze back, getting more targets. His targets have been down the last couple of weeks, but we have not. We've run the ball a lot more successful the past couple of weeks. So you can't. Very few teams out here running for 200, passing for 300. This is in college once again.
Yeah.
So it's about the opportunities. You're not getting 80 plays on offense because you run no huddle like you would in college. So
you can't be throwing it just for throwing it sakes. You know what I mean? It's just
no. I mean, I know people would love to do that, but that's really not how it goes. But what I will say is,
are you saying this isn't Madden?
Huh? Man, I say that on every. I say this isn't Madden on every post that I see. People are like, "Oh, let's do a one-on-one trade for Braxton and another guy." You're like, bro, this ain't Madden. This ain't Madden. You don't.
Although as often as they're going for it on 4th down now, it does kind of feel like Madden and that aspect of it. Because I remember in Madden, you'd go for it on 4th down more often than that.
But Yeah, the analytics have made you go forward when you're on your 45 plus when you're on your 50 or the other side of the 50. But usually you're only going for when it's like 2 a yard, and sometimes teams don't get it. So you're still flipping the field in a way. So I believe in the Bears offense. I know if they keep up the running, the thing that we haven't talked about is why Swift was being successful. Swift is being more successful because they're running more outside zone. You're getting him to the edge, letting him pick his spots. For those who don't know, he's not a dancing running back. People think that because he's speedy and has agility. He's still a one-cut running back. It's just that the one cut is better when you're running outside zone than you're trying to run inside zone, or you're trying to run gap plays or something in between the guards and tackles. That's not really his strength. And for a time, it wasn't really our offensive line strength. The offensive line is actually better on the move as a group than trying to run downhill smash mouth football. Although I don't know if I should say smash mouth football and make that sound at the same time. But you have to. Even Ben talked about it for weeks about the running game not being successful, and I mean he hasn't fielded those comments. But the running game has been more successful because they found something that works for their offense. They found a running scheme for their backs. Both backs don't run outside zone. Cal Manunga. They're not getting exactly the same type of running plays. Similar, more zone, but it's not. They're still getting the line on the move. And for those who don't know, outside zone, what you're doing is your linemen are aiming for the outside shoulder of the person in front of them. It's a gap. You're not blocking a man. You're blocking a space. You're blocking an area. So if there's a man in that area, then you put hand on man and you move. And then the running back aiming point is the widest point of the line. So if you got a tight end on your right, when you get the ball outside zone, your shoulder's supposed to be facing or going toward the tight end or the most widest person on the line. And then you're aiming for it is there. But as soon as you find a gap in the line where there's a hole where someone's been cut off, or your offensive lineman or fullback or H-back gets a hands on somebody, you're supposed to put your foot in the ground and accelerate through the hole. And that's what they've been successful in, instead of running inside zone, which is a lot different actually, or running, quote unquote, a power type scheme where you're running downhill and it's mano a mano. Everyone can't do that. It's not advantageous for everyone to run that type of shoot. The Ravens don't run goddamn mano a mano, head down football. So those who are tuning in, we got some more comments up here. We got we still doing the super chat. What the? I was about to say.
Yeah, my son, I try to have the background thing on there, but he just popped in last minute.
I didn't know. I ain't gonna lie. I thought you was doing a bit. I was like, you got a new video, you got new technology. Yo, Commish got a new computer. I thought he was trying some things, like he was just gonna have somebody come on talking about some bear down. Like I got visual effects, yeah.
Bro, so
I was like, damn, bro, what kind of computer you got?
I got a new bodyguard in town, all right? I got some new muscle, all right?
I thought he was gonna pull up talking about something. I thought he was gonna pull up talking about some. What's that? The one you used last year with from Night at the Roxbury. That she was.
Oh yeah. You are a bear. Ooh.
Right.
Yeah. No. Let's before we end it here. I wanted to do this real quick. We're at the mid-season point. Let's kind of give out some grades for the positions here of what we're thinking of, of A, B, C, or whatnot. So let's start off with the quarterback there. And what is your grade for the quarterback so far in the season? What grade would you give Caleb Williams, since he's the one quarterback?
So right in totality from weeks now until I would give him a B. The interception wasn't a good interception. He did force it. He did roam down, but he's played within the offense. He's getting rid of the ball. He's scrambling. He scrambled less these past weeks, but the running game has been more successful. He is extending plays. I don't think he's been that much inaccurate. I think that there's still some miscommunication on plays, and between the receivers and himself occasionally. But I would give him a B, solid B. He hasn't had any terrible games. He still plays pretty good in the fourth quarter. Even in the first two losses, he hasn't played horrible. Obviously, you want his passing percentage to be a little higher, but I don't ever think Caleb's going to be a 69, 70 guy. I think when Caleb reaches his peak as a passer, he'll be probably around 66%, but he is at 61 now. So yeah, I give him a solid B.
That's fair. Probably with me like a B minus, but like I said, not too far off. Next, let's look at the running back position as a whole. What grade would you give our running backs? As far as
I would give the running backs a B minus. Now, it would probably be a C plus if it wasn't for the past 2 weeks. But I can't give them an A for the past 2 weeks and then give them a D. Even in the first 4 weeks when they weren't being successful, I was probably giving them a C anyway because the pass protection has been solid from both backs when they're in there. When they are throwing the ball, they are catching the ball and trying to get yards. And the running scheme just wasn't helping. It wasn't the running back's fault completely. So I would probably give them a B minus. I'm being a little more liberal with my grading right now, but the Bears have played well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And in our receiving course, what do you think there? I think a C plus. I'm with D Nice on there with the running backs, a C plus. Definitely trending up though for sure.
Like me giving everyone B's, he's giving every grade personally a C plus for himself. So I would give the receivers. I would give them a B minus as well. We've had a couple contested drops. They're not technically considered drops by the league, but Rome has an issue with whenever he's truly being contested, and you brought him here to be a type of contested big body receiver. So when he's contacted on those balls where they're really tight, he's not catching them clean. DJ's catching the ball absolutely wonderful when the targets are coming. Same thing. Zacchaeus had a big drop, so I would give them a B minus as a whole. They're not, they're not getting beat up at the line. They are getting open. I think there's on drops. We only got like 2 or 3 the whole season that are like clear drops. But I would give them a B minus as a receiver group, including tight end as a whole. That includes the fact that Cole had a game where he had a couple drops, and Loveland has been kind of a dink and dunk guy. But as a whole, the entire receivers and tight ends, I would give them a B minus. Obviously, everything should be trending up.
Yeah, I mean, and what brings down the receiving core is definitely the tight ends, just because it just seems like Caleb Williams doesn't seem to favor his tight ends or kind of look for them too often, but hopefully, I don't know if that's more of the scheme that's going on right now, but hopefully he can get Loveland more involved this particular game. Lastly, on offense, the offensive line as a whole, what grade would you give them so far?
Before we finish the grade, can you bring up Brian Price, 2011, his last comment at 8:53 about 10 minutes ago?
Bears fans always love to bring up the fact that when we have one bad game compared to all your losings.
It's not one bad game. It's not one bad game. What's the Packers record?
I mean, they're top of our division, I believe, right?
Do you have a loss? You have a loss there, right? Because you have a loss. You have a loss and you have a tie. You're tying games. You're not playing well. That's
at least you can say they're playing better than us at the moment. So, but I'm looking forward. We're looking forward to that matchup coming up here in a few weeks. But let's get to the offensive line.
The Bears are 4-2. The Packers have a tie. So take that lead of the division and you can shove it up your cheese head. Offensive line.
Y'all killing me with this.
So go ahead. What grade are we giving our offensive line here so far, the midpoint of the season?
C plus. They played better.
Yeah,
I'll give the offensive line a C plus. I'm not everybody. I know people were raving to get Braxton off that left tackle. Off the left tackle, but the Canadian Eagle. If you go look at his Pro Football Focus grades, are not everything, but he's not playing that much better. Like, it's not like they're running the ball to his side like they run the ball to Braxton's side, because Braxton was a pretty good run blocker. Yes, he did have the penalties with 2 stars, but the quote unquote the war on him, like wins over replacement. He's playing average. I guess I would say slightly below average. I mean, they're not isolating him as much. He's still getting help from Joe Tooney. So I want to rewatch the games again to kind of see what makes him truly different, because everyone's like, oh, he's playing so much better than Braxton. I think they're playing about the same. Like Ben Jonhson said after his first start that he it's good for him not to be noticed. And not being noticed as an offensive lineman is great when you're playing average, but you're going to be noticed playing offensive line for 2 things. Either you're mauling people and you're getting mad blocks and, you're picking up, doing all this, or you're getting beat. And he started 2 games, and one game, his first start, he started at right, and then the other game he started at left. But the last 2 he started at left. I think he played okay. So as a whole, I mean, Jackson's finally playing better. So I thought Jackson, Jonas Jackson was the worst offensive lineman on the team 3 weeks ago. God damn, he was getting his ass whooped every week.
Yeah.
Then you got Darnell Wright, who's cleaned up the penalties. So the best lineman you had, our center, Dahlman, he was getting his ass whooped 2 weeks ago. He was getting goddamn look like a damn turnstile.
He looked lost at some points. Yeah.
He was,
and then the snap too was an issue.
The snaps was the issue last fucking week, bro. C. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Not C plus. The offensive line gets a C.
Okay.
They get a C. We still got 10 penalties. Still penalties a game. We still working on 10 penalties a game, bro.
Yeah, they do definitely still need to clean that up. Let's finish up and go through the defense real quick. Defensive line. What grade are we giving the defensive line so far?
C. They played better against the run recently, although we were 31st in the damn league versus run. C for the defensive line.
I'm noticing a trend here. You're either saying C for Chicago or B for Bears. Those are the only grades you kind of seem to be going right now. So
no one's grading out as an A.
No, so far not. What about our linebackers? Will they get?
I would say the linebackers are grading. I would say B plus.
Okay.
Even with Noah Sewell is healthy, they were playing pretty good. I like how Dennis Allen is moving them around. I would say B plus. There was a week or 2 where they were kind of like in the A, especially when they were playing the Saints in that run game. But I would say B plus. We are a 4-2 team. We are beating teams that technically are not the most winningest teams, although Washington is a quote-unquote winning team right now. But you're beating the teams we're supposed to beat. So the linebackers are actually one of the bright spots about this team as a group.
Yeah.
Edmonds is playing really, really well. He's actually quote-unquote living up to his contract. Noah Sewell before the concussion, he's playing really well.
Yes.
Edwards is playing well. He's been back from injury. You're still lacking that elite speed. We don't have any linebackers who Edmonds is supposed to be the sideline guy, but we don't have any crazy athletic guys who can chase down a super athletic running back or a super athletic quarterback. But I would give him a C plus. B plus.
Okay. And then almost lastly, the defensive backs.
I give them as a group with the interceptions. Their only bad game was the Lions.
The whole team had a bad game.
I'm not the biggest Noshawn Wright fan. I think he gets beat a lot more than people think he gets beat.
Injuries have been hurting us.
Because you know what? With the turnovers, I would give them an A minus. With the interception, Noshawn's got 2. Beard should have had 4, but he has 3.
We have a sack from Tyler Gordon sack. Brisker sack.
Brisker sack. I would give them an A minus. They're making the plays. I don't even care about the penalty last week. As a group, they're playing outstanding. Even with they're playing better when they were healthy, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, I would give them an A-. I'm going to give. I think they were the best. They were supposed to be the best group amongst all the position groups on defense. I think they've lived up to that. Especially turnovers always make things better, man.
For sure. Last and not least, we can't forget about special teams. What grade would you give our special teams here before we sign off?
If the special teams was just kickers, punter and kicker, I would give them an A. But that goddamn kick return coverage, good God, can we just kick it out of bounds and give them to the 35? Because everybody seems to start on the 40-yard line.
Right.
It seems like we played better versus the Saints. But goddamn, can we stop somebody at the 30?
Right. Yeah, that's a little bit frustrating.
I would give the kicking game with Jake Moody coming in and only having one miss and then kicking a game winner. Kairo's only missed that one, and that was early in the year, and people were trying to get rid of him. So we've only had two missed kicks this whole season between two kickers. The punter, Taylor's had some good punts the past few weeks. It's that kick coverage that's killing me. Otherwise, I would give them an A, but I'm going to give them a B as a entire group. We're talking about kickoff return, punt return, kickoff group. We haven't been great on kickoff.
Yeah.
No. So if you talking about the kickers and the return teams and the coverage teams, I would definitely give them a B.
Okay.
Damn.
Not bad grades at all. We got one A in there and some C's. So
we're 4-2 teams who's trailing the Packers, who are 4-1-1, because you got a tie. You tied the Cowboys. You tied the Cowboys in a 40-point game. You guys almost scored 90 points amongst the two of you. You couldn't beat them without their best receiver, and their defense their defense as a group is cheeks. In NFL standard defense, they're cheeks. Leading the division because you got a goddamn tie. Yeah, go kiss your sister on the mouth.
Yo, with that being said, we're pretty much at our time mark here. Well over an hour here. Coach.
Got to get scores. Got to get scores.
Oh, yes. Scores. Yes. Put it in the chat, people. What's the final score of the game? Coach Chef, what is your score prediction?
It's changed because of the Lamar thing. Let me write it down because I got to keep record. So I got I ain't gonna lie. I think
side the Cowboys. He was asking who tied the Cowboys. The Packers did. So,
Packers tied. That's their tie. I got Bears. 34-20.
34-20. Okay.
I know they're not. I know they're in Baltimore, but you come out here and you allow that former practice squad guy who hasn't been on the team in a couple years. You allow him to put 24 plus points on you. We got some problems.
Very true. Very true. Even though he can be mobile, he's still no Lamar Jackson, so you should be able to contain him and keep him in check. I do have the Bears winning as well, extending a 4-game winning streak, just lifting up one more finger and making it a 5-game winning streak. And I have the Bears smashing the Ravens and beating them 31-17.
What's funny, I was thinking over 30. The Bears are still top in the league in scoring. So you said 21-14 or 17?
31-17.
Okay. Also, so got to do this because we just made this a part of the show. Point spread, the Bears are plus 2.5. I definitely would take that under every circumstance. Even if you think it's going to be a close game, I think the Bears are going to cover because I think the Bears are going to win in general, even in Baltimore. So I definitely would take the 2.5. I would take the Bears straight up at plus 130. Now, yes, I picked the Bears to win 34-20, that would be a score of 54 points. Now, I've been really close on all my scores, and I'm going to give you all, when I find them on TikTok, follow me on TikTok, host.coach_chef on TikTok. I do my halftime review. I do a post-game review. The Bears win, and you get your victory shooter shot. I would actually take the under, even though I have them winning and then scoring a total of 54 points. The 44.5, I probably would take the under this week. But yeah, that's my betting. And hey, the The last 2 weeks, I would have won all those. I would have won all those picks with Swift going over 60 yards. I said I'm gonna keep picking Swift over 60 yards until he does it, and he did it back-to-back weeks and back-to-back 100-yard games plus back-to-back touchdown games.
All right. Well, we have to get going. I know my battery on the computer here is running low here. So thank you for everyone who joined us today. We really do appreciate it. Like I said, please put your score predictions there in the chat, and we'll look them over and see who is the closest. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel as well, and help us get to 1,400 subscribers, guys. So if nothing else, be safe out there, be good out there. But if you can't be good, well, damn it, at least be good at it.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
Wolves all day long in the clubhouse.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.